One of the most effective ways to help you to stop smoking is to use your imagination and to create a story or a scene. Because one of the reasons why you have struggled to stop smoking before is because the smoking habit exists in your subconscious mind. And although consciously you have made the decision to quit, that decision has not yet filtered down to your subconscious mind. So today we're going to create a story by using imagery and your imagination to help update the programming in your subconscious mind so that you no longer feel the need to smoke ever again. So I'll invite you to go on a journey with me. Imagine that it is deepest, darkest winter. It's the middle of the night just before dawn. And for some strange reason, you have found that you are somewhat awake. You're dressed in your warmest winter clothes and winter boots, and you open your own back door. And as you open your own back door, you see a scene that seems somewhat familiar, a scene that perhaps reminds you of some far-off childhood place. For as you open your back door, you find that it opens onto an old country lane. And it's snowing heavily, and there's a fresh fall of snow on the ground, and you feel compelled to go out into the snow and to walk down that old country lane. And as you walk down the lane, soon you find yourself at a gate that looks out into a beautiful old field. And the fresh blanket of snow on the ground looks beautiful. You can see the bare branches of the trees are carrying a dusting of snow, and the old fence there is beginning to gather snow also. And you open the gate, and closing it firmly behind you, at once you're filled with a sense of familiarity and a sense of purpose, and you begin to walk through that field, and you feel the snow crunching beneath your boots. Each step you take brings you further into that field and further into your imagination. You're filled with a sense of destiny as you move through this field. And as you walk towards the center of the field, you become aware that the snow in the middle of the field has been disturbed. And as you approach it, with a sense of wonderment and awe, you notice that someone has dug a hole, and in fact it is a grave. But there's no need for you to be concerned, because it's not a grave for you or for any living thing. You look down into that grave and you see that down there in that grave, every single cigarette that you have ever smoked is down there. It is a stinking mess of ash and butts and smoke, and the stench that's coming out of it is filling your lungs with a sense of disgust and distaste as you look down in that grave. Perhaps for the first time ever, you realize the full extent of that smoking habit, that habit that has been in your life for far too long. And as you look down in that grave, there's no need for you to feel any sadness, because you're not here to bury a friend. No friend of yours would ever try and strangle the air from your throat. No friend of yours would ever leave you with a sense of insecurity about your future. No friend of yours would ever try and steal you away from the people that you love. And no friend of yours would ever put their hand in your pocket and rob you of the money that you work so hard to earn. Yet cigarettes have been doing that silently for so long. So there's no need to feel remorse or sadness as you look down at all those burning butts, that smoke, that ash, and you smell that stench. In fact, you begin to feel a sense of relief. So when you are ready, I want you to imagine reaching down and picking up a handful of that cold, hard, frozen earth. And in your own time and in your own way, I want you to say goodbye to that habit. Because you're here today to bury that habit for once and for all. It's time to let it go. And when you're ready, I want you to turn your back on that cold, hard earth and that grave and everything that it contains, and carry on your journey through that beautiful blanket of snow in that far-off field from your past. And as you move away from that grave and everything it contains, your subconscious mind is updating the programs and the habits there. And each step you take through that snow, each crunch of your boot, each step that you take, is taking you further and further away from that habit. Each step is like a year that you're moving forward further away from that habit. 1 foot forward after the other means 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years away from you now. It's beginning to feel like it's such a long time since you smoked. It seems as though it's something you used to do way back when. Something that you have a far-off, distant memory of. And the further you move away from that grave, the more you begin to realize that the scene in front of you is fading. The new light of a brand new day is beginning to dawn, and all the snow and ice around you begins to melt. And as you look down at your feet as they move through the field, you notice that time seems to be moving so very fast. It's like you're caught in a time-lapse video. You see tiny little green shoots of grass are beginning to grow beneath your feet. The fence with the snow, that snow has melted. And in the trees you can see beautiful little buds and blossoms beginning to grow. The birds are singing, and right in front of you you can see that a brand new day is dawning. Everything is changing faster than the speed of light. And not only is the scene in front of you changing, but you're changing too. Your health is improving and renewing. Everything that you can see around you is changing. Just as a new day is dawning, so too are you moving into a new phase of your life, a healthier phase where you too are beginning to grow and flourish. Your health is improving, your breathing is improving, your eyesight is improving, your energy levels are improving. It's like spring has arrived, not just to this beautiful field far off in time, but to you and your life and your future too. From this moment on, you are free from that habit that kept you in its grasp for so long. You are a non-smoker. You no longer smoke. You're happy to just breathe in that clean, fresh and healthy air. And every time you breathe in a deep lungful of fresh air, you can just feel how it energizes and invigorates your body and mind. And occasionally, you might think back to that field and that habit that you buried. And you might become aware of a sense of whiteness that just seems to penetrate your mind. And you might wonder, is that the whiteness of the snow? Or is it the whiteness of prison walls that you have finally escaped from? Because you are finally free. Your subconscious mind has been updated. You have buried that habit for once and for all.